Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Champagne Sundays with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazine.com.
Hey everybody, it is January 9th, 2022, and welcome to Big Blend Radio's Champagne Sundays show. It's our second Champagne Sundays show of the year, and we are airing live from ceramic artist Andrea Faye's studio in Peachtree City, Georgia, and the sun is coming out. And it's going to go away again, but it's here, so let's all go dance outside. It's beautiful.
It's cold.
And as always, we're your hosts, Nancy, Reid, and Lisa Smith, the crazy mother-daughter travel team and publishers of Big Blend magazines and full-time travelers on the Love Your Parks tour. You can check it all out. Just go to BigBlendMagazines.com. This broadcast is part of our special Silver Jubilee anniversary shows this year. We are celebrating 25 years of Big Blend magazine, starting from way back when, pre-Google, when we had a print magazine in San Diego, then became Southwest Blend, and now we're in the process of expansion. And by, I'd say about 3 months, we'd have 8 magazines now because we're bored.
And I don't even feel tired yet.
Really?
No.
I don't feel tired. We have champagne.
No.
You never get tired if you drink champagne. But no, it's
True.
8 magazines. Our latest issue is Parks and Travel magazine. That's been going on for a number of years, and it also covers our Love Your Parks tour. Nancy and I travel full-time documenting parks and public lands, and that's what we're doing out here in Peachtree City, also playing with Gotham and Joker, the two cool cats of Georgia.
Oh, I love them.
And we're also celebrating 15 years of Big Blend Radio right here on Blog Talk. So I know we've been doing a lot of Zoom pre-recordings since we air daily. But we have to do some live radio parties and go back to our roots, and it's already been super fun. We've had a number of shows, and you can see that page up on Big Blend Radio. See,
Big Blend.
Only one sip of champagne, and here I go, on BigBlendRadio.com. I'm excited. We have cool guests on our show.
I know.
And
yeah,
Priscilla, our pink sock monkey, swinging from the Big Blend party bus. She's getting ready to cook up Champagne Sunday brunch orders, and the bubbly is flowing. So, Nancy, are you ready to get on the bus?
I am. In fact, I'm already on there, but Priscilla's been drinking all morning. So I'm saying whatever you order, who knows what's going to happen.
Well, maybe she can talk better than I can. All right, here it is. We're going to go, since we're in Peachtree City, we are going to go to Macon, Georgia, to talk about the music. We'll talk with the music ambassador of Georgia, guitarist Joey-Stuckey. All right. Hey, Joey. Everybody, Joey-Stuckey is an amazing guitarist, singer, songwriter, composer, producer, radio and TV personality, music columnist, educator, and sound engineer.
Wow.
He's got a lot going on, and you can keep up with him at Joey-Stuckey.com. He is the official music ambassador for Macon, Georgia, which is known as the Southern Rock Capital of the world. So welcome back, Joey.
Awesome.
How are you?
Oh, I'm just so happy to be with you good friends today. It's a real pleasure.
Hey,
awesome.
It is good to have you back. I know it's you're not traveling for the Grammys this month, are you? That's kind of sucks.
No, we thought we would be, but it's all been called off due to concerns for COVID, and I think they made the right decision because honestly, I was starting to wonder if I was going to go anyway. I was thinking, I don't know, but they made the decision to postpone it, and they haven't said when it's going to be rescheduled, but. Hopefully it'll be rescheduled at a time that seems reasonable and safe for everybody.
Right
sure.
on.
I'm sure it will be. But I get it. I mean, I don't know. We're all going to have to kick this COVID to the curb somehow.
Yeah.
And actually, my sweet wife, Jennifer, and you guys know, I'm a blind brain tumor survivor, and so I have a number of health challenges that I face on a daily basis, and so I'm very, very cautious. I guard my health very carefully. Because I absolutely have died a number of times, and I have to just really watch it. And so we have taken every precaution that is absolutely possible, and my sweet wife Jennifer still has just got COVID Friday.
Oh, oh no!
So now she's
well, we're sending her good wishes.
She's doing okay. We actually the good thing about being a touring musician is we have a bus, like a motorhome, and so that she's actually she's isolating in that, and she's still right here on the property, and so I can still take good care of her.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh.
So listen,
well,
speaking of being on, yeah, we're sending her champagne bubbles, and that always makes everybody feel better. But
and you can't listen. Any kind of bubbles makes me feel better. I like bubbles.
Know.
Don't start. Here we go. I'm going to have to play Hey Google.
I'm going to leave it at that. I'll leave it at
that.
I'll leave it to your imagination as to where I like them. So.
All right. So speaking of that, Priscilla, our little sock monkey, swinging around and ready for your champagne brunch order. What would you like to eat and drink for our party?
Yeah. So this is a classic, and I do demand perfection here. So I want to make sure that she's if she messes somebody else's order up, that I'm okay with that. But this one has to be perfect. So you need to have eggs Benedict with lobster. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
And
eggs Benedict.
That's it.
She's really good at
Anything to drink?
Well, I being blind and drunk are real bad ideas, so I don't do that as a usual on a regular basis. But I would just have orange juice and coffee.
Sounds good.
Not in the same cup. Not in the same.
Hey,
cup.
Not
to be
together.
Clear. Yeah. I mean, some people might, but I don't.
No.
I like. I like. Well,
I'm going to try that. It sounds
kind
of weird.
No. Well, you can have chocolate and orange. Like hot chocolate with orange.
Yeah,
something.
that works.
Now
coffee and orange juice.
It doesn't sound good, and I was very skeptical of chocolate and orange, but then I had some. And I was like, okay, this is really pretty good. Yeah, so I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
Cool. Well, I like this. We're starting off with eggs Benedict, my favorite. I can't do the lobster, but we're going to go from
I will share it with you. If you want some of mine, you're welcome.
Okay, I just want some eggs Benedict. You have the lobster. The lobster.
All right.
We've been doing a lot about Maine lately, so everybody's running around going
Excellent.
lobster. But we're going to go to California. We're going to go to Southern California. Actually, no, we're going to Central California because we're taking a detour. We're going to go to California Sequoia country, and we're going to chat with our good. No, because we should have brought the music. We should be doing Blind Man Driving. We should be playing that song through this whole thing. I love that, and the video of that is perfect. Hey, she's good. She's got us around the country pretty well.
Right.
But we're going to go play with the giant sequoias. We're going to chat with Donnette Silva Carter. So everyone, stay tuned and always fun with Donnette. So Donnette Silva Carter is the CEO of the Tulare Chamber of Commerce and also part of the Sequoia Tourism Council. And both are very, dear to our hearts. Even Donnette's even dearer. I mean, we have known Donnette since we began before a radio show. In fact, we met her at the very first show we did out of our home, outside, at an Adventure Expo in Visalia, California, which is all part of Tulare County. The gateway to California is Sequoia National Park, Kings Canyon National Park, Giant Sequoia National Forest, Sequoia National Forest, all these cool places. And so welcome back, Donnette. How are you?
I am doing great. Happy New Year. It's so exciting to step into 2022 and to get to do that with you guys.
You too. It's so good to have you back on.
I think even numbers rock.
I do too.
Yeah, there you go.
That is it. And listen, Miss Priscilla, she's hoping to see you again soon. She wants to go shopping. She says she needs a new dress, and she said you are one of the people that need to help her.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. That would be an honor. I do love to shop, and we have all kinds of great places in Tulare County to shop. So whether it's you're an outlet shopper or you are a boutique shopper, we've got something for everyone. Antiques, just everything. So, some of those antique stores have some really cool little older dresses. Maybe we could find something that would be the right fit for her.
And she wants a tiara. She wants a tiara.
She does.
Oh, we can make that happen.
Oh,
so
cool.
we need one
that
that's
we live
new.
in the area where there are a lot of tiaras that are they are plentiful in our area. There are a lot of quinceañeras for our young girls, and we also have a lot of Portuguese princesses with all of the Portuguese festas. So I think we can hook her up.
Awesome.
I like this. This. So, Donnette, Priscilla's ready to cook for you and pour. So what would you like to drink? Let's start with that.
Okay, well, you know what? I think I will definitely like a cup of coffee. I'd also like to do a mimosa. That sounds really good to kick off the new year. And then I'm going to go to my roots, and I'm going to see if Priscilla can do a Portuguese omelet with some great Portuguese linguiça and eggs and onions and, do something, that speaks of my culture today.
Wow. Ooh, we're into the Portuguese food now. That's one of the things about going and seeing you in Tulare County. You know all the good spots. And the linguiça, I was trying to remember that on the show the other day because someone told us it was sausage day the next day, and then we kind of wasn't, but we don't care. And sausage. Then I was trying to say, well, Tulare County is known for linguiça, and I think I was calling it langosta, which I now think is lobster. No, I don't know what I was calling it, but I'm glad you're on the show to solve our sausage dilemma.
Oh, well, anytime. I would be happy, to get Danny Mendez. He has Tulare Meat Locker, and they do have award-winning linguiça as well as other sausages. So happy to connect you and maybe have him come on to one of the shows sometime and help you out with, getting your sausage on and a lot of messaging about, what sausages are out there available and linguiças and stuff like that. So
yummy.
Should I maybe say that wrong? Sorry.
No, that was just
great.
we're silly. It's champagne time, Donnette.
I know.
You know us. But everyone, check out Tulare.
Sausage Day.
That's it. We're going to make a real sausage day. There's sausage month in October, but I think we need to have a sausage day, a true sausage day, so we can celebrate linguiça, chorizo, and boerewors, and all kinds of good, and boudin down in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Yeah, so we need a sausage day. Everyone, TulareChamber.org and DiscoverTheSequoias.com are the two websites to check out for the region. It is truly one of our favorite destinations. But now we're going to get back on the bus, and we're going to go hang out with Johnny-Schaefer in Southern California. He's in the greater L.A. area, but he's very familiar with Tulare County, so stay tuned. Singer-songwriter Johnny-Schaefer is back on the show, and you can keep up with him if you go to his website, hearjohnny.com. He was on our show back in November 2021 with his latest single. It's called You Can't Hide the Light. We're going to be closing this show with it, and it's a duet with the Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter Melissa Manchester. So welcome back, Johnny. How are you?
I'm doing great, and so happy to be here on this to help you celebrate this milestone. It's wonderful. And also to be here I'm sorry? Oh, yeah.
I said we're feeling a little old.
I can relate to that. I just turned 60 a few weeks ago, so. But thank you. I was also just in Porterville this last week and just came back yesterday. So it's nice to be on with a neighbor as well. So
cool.
That's awesome. And I think we can all agree, that anyone who's been to Porterville and gone to Stafford's Chocolates, that the Ooey Gooey bar is the best Ooey Gooey bar you'll ever find in the world.
Ever.
So,
yep. I just had one the other day.
See? Really? And you didn't send
iconic.
us? Oh, Johnny. So
next time.
What can Priscilla get you for your champagne brunch?
I also love Eggs Benedict, and I like to throw. You mentioned that you started out in San Diego, so I don't know if you ever. There was a place called Tops that they had the Sandy Egger, and it was a Eggs Benedict, but they threw in cheddar cheese. And ever since I had that, I always like to throw cheddar cheese in with my Eggs Benedict.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I like that.
And avocado.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's good too. Yep.
Okay, we're revisiting it.
I know we're just put on some pounds, and that's okay with me because apparently somewhere along the line I'll learn how to run. But that's kind of like Joey running around and driving the bus or something. That's not going to happen. But it's just not happening. But what about you? What are you going to drink?
I with eggs I like to have Bloody Mary, and then after, like toward the end of the meal I'll have a peppermint mocha since we're just coming out of the holidays. I like those.
So.
Ooh! It's a little spiky
kind of
in
peppy.
there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually like to put a little cinnamon in there too because cinnamon and peppermint goes well together. So.
Yeah. Ooh. Dessert.
Cinnamon schnapps. Okay.
Yep.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Johnny,
there you go.
before we get back on the bus, because we're going to Tucson, our final destination, and actually where we're based, and that's where our storage unit and our good friend Lance Labor is. Before we go and pick him up, Priscilla would like to hear one of your vocal warm-ups, because she's going to learn.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, yes, my voice teacher calls it the burrs, but it's people usually call it a lip trill, and I think Joey was saying he does them as well. It's, the physiology of it is you can't hurt yourself doing it, and it's nice and quiet. So if you're in a big room and you need to warm up, it's a great way to get your voice, vocal cords working well and the breath working well. So
did you say bird or burr?
Burr. She calls it the. Okay, let's do your burrs now.
Oh, see, I was hoping it was going to be the birds the word.
Oh,
yeah. That's Nancy's vocal warm up. All right, we're getting back on the bus, and we're going to go to Tucson to chat with the Tucson Dude. So Lance Labor is no stranger to Big Blend Radio, and what is that? That sounds really interesting. Is someone swinging on a chair? Lance, is that you? What is I'm sorry, but let me reintroduce you. Lance Labor, the Tucson Dude, the executive director of DeGrazia Gallery in the Sun in Tucson, Arizona. I encourage you to go to their website, degrazia.org. And Lance, you're just part of the shenanigans with the show because you even know what it's like to do shows with us in person at the gallery and the champagne flowing and Priscilla. So, how are you? Welcome back.
I'm doing good. I want to congratulate you on your anniversary. That's 25 years. That's a long time.
I know, man. Thank you so much, and you're part of it.
You're welcome.
And we want to thank everyone. I mean, everyone has been in support. So many, our experts, our radio guests, all of our audience. It's all of you guys that have made this possible. We just keep running, keep going somehow, and drinking champagne and stumbling our words. But that's the way it rolls, and we're still here. But it's not something that we've done alone. So it's about every single person being part of this. But Tucson Dude, it is good to have you back on the show. Miss Priscilla is very happy to see you. Priscilla the Soft Monkey loves you. And Domingo DeGrazia, Artist-Ted-DeGrazia's son, plays wonderful flamenco and Spanish guitar, and Priscilla has the hots for Domingo. Domingo does not like Priscilla, but she's sending him kisses. So please tell him that she misses him.
I will do that.
Oh, dear.
And she also remembers when you picked her up at the gallery and you tried to make her same face, and she wants to tell you not a bad job, but no.
What are you doing? Saying Lance looks like a sock monkey? Oh my gosh.
Remember he was trying to mimic her?
Yes, you did it good. I actually have a photo of it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I have a photo of that.
Sorry, guys. I don't have any recollection of any of this.
And he's the one who doesn't drink champagne. See?
Exactly.
So, Lance, what can Priscilla make you for brunch?
All right. So I've been thinking about this. Let's start with a cup of coffee, and I want a shot of Kahlua, and I want a shot of tequila in it.
Really?
Then let's do a big 3-omelet veggie, a 3-egg veggie omelet. Wow. And I want a pile of kosher bacon piled next to it.
Can you get kosher bacon? Does that
Oh yeah,
that doesn't exist.
Is that
Does
a thing? I don't think so.
No, I
think
think
so.
you.
But you asked me what I wanted.
But I didn't know if it was. I didn't. I thought
get
the
it,
Jewish
but you
faith
have
did
to
not
be.
eat bacon.
No, you can get it, but you have to be blessed.
Oh, so you're blessed, and that's kosher.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well then, dude,
So
that's
anyway,
pretty.
that's
no
what I want.
chorizo. Okay, so the bacon, the
Oh,
omelet.
you can throw that in too.
Okay, because you're in Tucson, and you have some of the best food in the world. Tucson is the gastronomy. I can never say it. Gastronomy capital of the world, a UNESCO World Heritage Site for food. It's amazing.
It's pretty good.
Who is swinging? It's Priscilla. She's swinging from her tree.
Oh, you know,
that is
before we get into anything too heavy, I want to tell you that I'm sitting outside under a big mesquite tree, and a giant hawk just landed with a dove in its claws, and it was raining feathers down on me. So that's why I was swinging and moving. I didn't want it to poop on me either, because I was sitting right under it.
I love this. I miss doing these shows. I really do. So, Lance, I want to get into the gallery because I know you have to go because you're going to have to chase a hawk off in a few minutes here. But DeGrazia Gallery in the Sun is on the National Register of Historic Places. It's a 10-acre site. And just can you give everyone a quick overview of Ted DeGrazia for those who may not have heard of him, even though he's the most reproduced artist in the world?
Yeah, he was a Arizona native. He was born in a little town, Morenci, Arizona, which is a copper mining town. He moved to Tucson in the 30s and the mid 40s, and he built a gallery here. The gallery became kind of crowded out by the city, and he moved up to the north end of Tucson in the Catalina foothills, Santa Catalina Mountains, and built a giant gallery up there. And he became rich and famous by painting little children and all kinds of things. But he really became famous when he did a painting called Los Niños, which was a children dancing in a circle, and UNICEF took that painting, got his permission, and they sold millions of cards worldwide, and that really kind of put him on the map and made him famous. So that's awesome. DeGrazia.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I remember that gallery painting from when I was like 9 or 10 years old. I remember my aunt getting that box from UNICEF, and were little plastic dolls in there, and the painting was in there, and she made donations. I remember that.
Oh yeah, that was
so cool.
it was a big thing back then. That was in 1959.
And you know, as much as we travel, wherever we go, we find something or a story or someone connects back to DeGrazia. It's really amazing. I mean, we were pets. You know, a lot of you know we pet sit through Trusted House Sitters. That's part of the way we travel and do our work. Especially because of COVID, it was a way to kind of distance ourselves from people, and it turned out to be the best thing travel-wise for us. It's amazing. But we were pet sitting in Dallas area, and they had DeGrazia glasses. Like, because I know, and everyone, you can go on DeGrazia.org and shop. Donnette, you can go shopping till your heart's content. I'm just telling you. She likes to shop. But
I like that.
Well, you can get things for your kitchen. You've got the art, you've got cards, you've got all kinds of gifts, calendars. I mean, it's amazing what you can get there. But they had glasses, and they looked like, these are glasses probably like collectibles, like from a while ago, So he just goes everywhere, DeGrazia does. I hear that you've got new exhibits coming up January 28th through to my birthday, August 31st. So everyone, this is important.
Happy birthday.
So DeGrazia's Sombreros and DeGrazia's Native Dancers, those are the two new exhibits?
Yeah, those will be going up let's see. Do you have the date? Tell me.
Yeah, January 28th. January 28th.
Oh, okay.
Start. Yeah.
All right. So the end of this month they'll be going up. It's just more DeGrazia art. He painted a lot of different things, a lot of different people wearing sombreros, and we just have so much art to put out that we probably have another 20 years of art to put out that people haven't seen.
Wow.
So we just keep putting it out there.
Well, I know we're going to go ahead.
If thanks. If he was alive today, what do you think he would do?
You know, gosh, Nancy, I don't know. You know, things have changed so much since in the last 40 years.
Yeah.
He'd probably still paint the same things that he was always painting. He loved the Southwest, and that was his subject matter, was the Southwest. I don't see how that would change much, but I'm sure that if he was alive today, he would be completely disgusted. So who knows if he would paint anything.
Well, he'd probably paint the COVID virus because it's kind of pretty. It's, the little the little ball thing.
It looks like Star Trek, when you go into outer space with Captain Kirk and there's all those planets floating around. Looks like that.
Yeah. Well, I wish you would go to a different galaxy.
Me too.
Yeah, go to the galaxy of evil rulers over the years, But that's,
really?
He really does continue on. We're going to play music before you go. We're going to play "Please Remember Me." It's the title track to the album put out, where you found the manuscripts of his music, right? Because he was a trumpet player first, right?
Cool.
Right. But he penned some music in the early 30s, and we found this music. I found it in the archives probably about, 10 or 12 years ago. I've lost track. But it was all handwritten music that DeGrazia had done, and we recorded it with the Tucson Jazz Academy. They arranged it and recorded it, and Domingo DeGrazia played on it, and it's really wonderful. Wonderful stuff.
It is.
Oh, man.
For sure.
So one thing, because we do have two guests, amazing people, Johnny-Schaefer and Donnette Silva on the show from Tulare County. Lance, every time I say we're going to the Sequoias, you're like, you love the Sequoias. Isn't that where you go camping, through the years?
Yeah.
You go up there?
Yeah, absolutely. Love the
people
giant
all
trees.
Connected. They're awesome. They're, and right now the park is got covered in snow, which is magic, so that it can heal from all the fires, and so I think that's pretty. Donnette, it's got to be pretty right now with the snow-capped mountains. It's got to be beautiful.
It is absolutely gorgeous, and actually earlier today I was on Facebook, saw a picture that someone posted that they had taken out of Exeter, which is a little closer, to the mountains, and it was just gorgeous with all the snow that you could clearly see. Just beautiful getting up there, and then once you're there, of course, it's definitely a snow play day. So great time to come to Tulare County, California, and go experience the Sequoias.
Awesome.
Yeah, this last week I got to see the mountains, and it was really nice because a lot of times when I go up there you can't see them, and so it was really great. It was beautiful.
Oh, that's nice. It's healing. I think Mother Nature knows how to heal, and she's doing a good job. Lance, I know you have to run, but what is your champagne toast?
I'm going to toast to you guys. How's that?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. 25th, and have another happy 25 more.
Oh, boy.
Yikes.
I don't know. Oh, my God. I don't know.
We'll work on
we'll
it.
be hanging out with you. We'll be wheeled into the gallery to see you, and they better still let us have
Yeah,
champagne.
25 more years, I'll be 95, so forget about it.
Well, listen, Lance, we love you. It's so good to have you back on the show, and champagne toast to you for putting up with Nancy and I for all these years. But we've loved every second
thank you
of
guys
it.
very much.
I know our audience does too. So here
love
it is,
you
everyone.
Love you guys too, and
behave.
No.
Yeah, right.
We're gonna play. Please
Thank you guys.
remember me Thank you. And then Donnette, Johnny, and Joey, we're going to come back after we play this song and get your champagne toast and find out what's going on for you guys this coming year. Well, this year that we're in now. So here it is. Please Remember Me, and you can get the album. Just go to DeGrazia.org. So here it is, one of our favorite songs. again. That was Please Remember Me, written by Ted-DeGrazia, a famous artist who was based out of Tucson, Arizona. You can go to DeGrazia.org to learn more about the gallery and shop online and even get the album Please Remember Me. I wanted to, we are listening to Champagne Sundays, and let me just reintroduce everyone. We've got Joey-Stuckey, guitarist, songwriter, producer, recording art, everything. If there's anything to do with music, that's what Joey does, and you can keep up with him at joeystuckey.com. But hey, Joey, how are you doing during your show?
I'm doing great, my friend. That was
good.
A really great piece. Yeah,
Isn't that
music.
That is good music, really good music. I agree. And the whole album, it goes, into Spanish music, and Domingo, his son, plays guitar on there as well, which is amazing. Really good. We love playing that song on there. And I wanted to also bring back Johnny-Schaefer, vocalist and songwriter. Johnny, welcome back for the last few seconds.
Thank you very much.
Johnny, does that remind you of Porterville?
I actually I was the trumpet player. I went to Menachie High School in Porterville, and we had a really great band, and I played trumpet, and I was in the jazz band and all that. So I loved that trumpet solo, and it was really beautiful.
Cool. Isn't it Buddy Shafer? Donnette Silva-Carter is here also from Tulare Chamber, and we met her when she was running the Porterville Chamber originally. Donnette, is it Buddy Shafer? Am I getting it right off the top of my head?
Buck.
That
Buck
did
Shafer.
The band?
Yeah, it was
Buck.
Yeah, he was at the other high school. My senior year, I wrote a piece for our band, and he came up to me afterwards and he says, "Well, I'm sure we're related, even though it's spelled different, but I'm sure we're related somehow."
I think that's one of the first questions we had for you on a show.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But that music reminds me of, Central California for some reason, and going through. It's interesting driving through from Bakersfield. Donnette, we've talked about this, where you really do have the Bakersfield sound that goes through your area, and then there's just like that. I don't know, it takes you back. The way the radio stations, what they play out there, it just takes you back into music from the 30s and 40s and 50s, it seems. And I love it. I love driving through all the farms and grapevines,
It's just
vineyards.
I love agriculture and just driving through and experiencing that and going through the different seasons too, because you have the time when you have all the blossoms, you have all the fragrances in the air. It's just beautiful. Farmland is beautiful, and we also, of course, love our cows. Number one in milk production in the world, and so we love seeing our happy cows in California too.
Well, there it is. I like this.
It's true, especially if you come from the city where it's all crowded and all you see is concrete, whether you look up or down, It's so nice to get out into a place where you see pastures and cows and trees. It's so awesome.
I love all
beautiful
of
regions.
Yeah, when I go to Porterville,
Go ahead.
The olfactory, there's certain scents that just, as soon as I go to Porterville, all this stuff comes flooding back, because there are things that you smell there that you don't smell. I don't smell anywhere else, and so it has an array, like in the when the oranges are blooming, the orange blossoms. It's really gorgeous.
Oh man, that's amazing. It's intoxicating.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is intoxicating. Joey, I wanted to go over to you. That kind of sound. I know that you run a recording studio. It's Sun Shadow.
Yeah.
Am I getting it right? Okay. I was trying to.
Shadow
we
Sound.
were talking
Close
about.
up.
Yeah, Shadow Sound. That's it. I was getting it wrong. We were just in an interview, recording an interview. It'll come out in March, and we were talking about you on there, and I was trying to explain what you do. In regards to you run this whole recording studio, which is amazing. A lot of people would not think that a blind musician is also able to do recording as well and play with all those dials and things. Because there's no way. I mean, I look at all that stuff. I'm going, heck no. Just I want one button, and then hopefully William Shatner will appear and tell me what to do, because he seems to tell everybody what to do on Twitter.
yeah, he does.
He does. I love following him. He's a trip, man. But you do all of that. Yeah. Would you record like a full-on jazz ensemble like what we just heard?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've done tons of jazz records. And we do it a lot of times if I'm recording a college or a high school jazz band, a lot of times we'll actually go to their auditorium and record them remotely, which presents its own unique challenges. But I much prefer to have everybody in my studio when it's practical, to be able to have the kind of control that I want and the kind of room that I want and that kind of thing. But yeah, I've done lots and lots of jazz recordings, and I've done. I'm an eclectic spirit, and I really don't think music should have any kind of limitations. I think it's the most powerful force for positive change that there is, and so so I have recorded jazz albums and of my own music and do a lot of that, but I'm more known for what I am calling, it's a totally made up genre, though I guess all genres are made up, but I'm calling what I do basically progressive Americana, which means that Americana is a very broad umbrella that encompasses country and blues and a lot of different styles, but I add a little jazz, a little rock in there, and just kind of mix it all up, and that is kind of a challenge from a branding and marketing standpoint. So what I've done for myself, because I love all music, I love music from classical to hip hop, everything in between. If it's done with heart, if it's done with conviction, if it's done with skill, I mean, I like it. And so what I do is I sort of broadly brand myself, and then I sort of narrowly brand and focus each record. So that's kind of how I get away with it. But it does make it harder to find your audience sometimes when you are more diverse and you're not so really. I mean, if you look at the artists that are super big, they kind of do one thing, they do it really well, it's instantly recognizable. So being a little more narrowly focused is smarter, but it's not where my heart's at. That's
we're the blend.
That's why I love being a recording engineer. Yeah. Well, that's why I love being a recording engineer, because I can produce I don't rap or anything myself, but I can produce rappers, I can produce, country, I can produce jazz or avant-garde, art rock, or country, blues, reggae, whatever it is. I'm sort of have a broad knowledge of all of those different genres. But I love doing it. So my main skill, as you rightly mentioned, there's lots of buttons and knobs, and I have a lot of analog equipment, partly because I love the vibe, and partly because as a blind person, it's handy for the third knob on the left to always do the same thing. Whereas if you're strictly in the digital domain, most of the controls there that are on your screen have sort of two problems if you're blind. One is that you have to know what the screen says, because the controls functions change based on what the screen tells you. So that's kind of a problem if you can't see it. And secondarily, while there are accessible solutions for that, they're not perfect, and they're a lot of times the accessible software that's out there to help the blind know what's going on just really isn't that great. And so a lot of times we don't have the same choices in the digital domain that our sighted counterparts do. But I'm working really hard to change that. I always have worked on accessibility solutions, but here in the last 18 months, I seem to be making a lot more progress than I ever have before. I'm not sure why, but I'll take it.
That's cool.
It's true. The accessibility, we have that on our websites, and I went through the whole thing of it, and I'm still confused as to how it actually helps. It just seems to make the font bigger or smaller and change colors.
Interestingly, you have when you say blind, that's kind of a broad umbrella, because some people are totally blind.
Right.
Some people have visual impairment, so they can't. They have to have the text bigger, but they can still read. Or sometimes they don't have a very good. They have to have a different contrast to be able to read it. Most blind people that have significant vision loss use a screen reader, and sometimes the screen readers can't make sense of certain colors. But anything that is not text-based, the screen reader usually just gives up on and can't really help you with. Now, I won't go too far down this rabbit hole, but I have been of late championing the idea, because we are living, as you guys know, we're living in a screen-driven universe. Right. Our phones are everything has a screen or a touch screen. And so one of the things that I think we should do, I think that we should investigate, is the idea of AI taking the place of the screen reader and helping us to find a standardized platform that makes it easy for companies to make things accessible. So they don't have to reinvent the wheel, so they don't have to have their own, entire department dedicated to accessibility. So anyway, that's something I've been working on in the last year or so.
I love this. We can do a whole show on this, honestly, because we've done so many interviews of this nature. I want to go to Donnette on this. I know that's not necessarily what we all said we were going to talk about today, but Donnette, being, the head of a chamber of commerce and running, other chambers and visitor centers and, is accessibility something that chambers of commerce look at, or that was the wrong word to say, but use? I mean, is that something that businesses need to look at?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are actual legal requirements, of course, with the Americans with Disabilities Act and what you have to have, accessible. And then I do want to mention, because this brings up something that's just recently happened in the community of Visalia, one of our communities here in Tulare County, and we're all looking at how we could become a part of that, is that they received a certification as an autism-friendly community.
Oh, wow.
And there are people who are going through within that community to get specific certifications where they so if you're bringing your families, especially, the kids and stuff into the community, where are some places you can go that have put accommodations in specifically for children with autism? So this is something new. I give credit. It's Visit Visalia, who has done this, Nellie Freeborn and Suzanne Bianco. And it's just a wonderful effort. I personally had not even known there was this type of a certification available. So all of us got to learn at the Sequoia Tourism Council, and they're making strides with other entities within the community who are doing this. So
that's so cool.
Definitely accessibility should be top of mind with any community. I have a nephew who requires accessibility as well for other kinds of challenges, and so we always think about, how can people get around? What do they need within our communities?
Yeah.
I
the
love
thing
this.
that's so important about that. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Joey.
Okay. The thing that's so important about it, I am convinced that the primary lack of accessibility is driven from the lack of education about the need for it. I think everyone can agree that morally, ethically, it's the right thing to do. And the big thing is we just need to talk about it a little bit more. And to that point, I know some people who have disabilities, and I don't mind saying the word disability, by the way, because if I can't talk to you about what I need, how can I ever expect to get the help I need? So I don't think disability or blind or any of those things are dirty words. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. So I really feel like we just need to talk about it. But there are some people who are blind that are very frustrated at the lack of accessibility. I understand that, and I don't think it's wrong to say that you're frustrated. But oftentimes their way of dealing with it is to be angry, and that's just not helpful. And so I try to distance myself from that, because I don't think when we come to chambers of commerce, and I serve on a lot of diversity and inclusion committees from the Georgia Chamber of Commerce to the Audio Engineering Society, to just different places like that. But I think the thing to do is to focus on education and positivity and come to companies. I own a small business myself, and I understand that it is daunting to try and navigate the waters of accessibility, because you're like, well, how do I afford to do all this? And if you only come to people with problems and not solutions, you're going to turn people off. So when I come to someone and say, hey, here's an accessibility need that we should look at, I'm coming to you not only with the problem, but with ideas for the solution, even if I'm not the right person to necessarily help with autism, because I don't know a lot about that. I can still at least turn you on to who does know. And I think one of the things that's so telling about when I talk about the need for education, I spent about a little over 6 months in a wheelchair as a latent issue from the brain tumor I had that was a real surprise. My hip had something called a vascular necrosis. And over the period of a year, my hip literally just disintegrated. And so I ended up in a wheelchair for 6-7 months trying to find someone to do surgery, the whole thing. But I always thought, as a blind person, I knew there were ramps. I knew there were rails in the bathroom. I thought, great, this is wonderful. The people with wheelchairs are taken care of. I could not have been more wrong. And there are lots of public places that have those trappings, I'm calling them trappings for a reason, that don't actually meet the code. And you have issues with wheelchairs getting through doorways. You have issues with wheelchairs getting through aisles. You have issues with wheelchairs being able to get down the ramp. I mean, the ramps are supposed to be flush. So if there's a lip on the ramp, that's kind of a problem in a wheelchair, or at least it can be, depending on how steep it is. So anyway, I was educated thinking, okay, well, I know there are ramps, I know there are rails in the bathroom, everybody's taken care of. So it wasn't until I was actually in the wheelchair that I realized, gosh, there's a lot more to be done. So anyway, my point is that if even someone who's very conscious of accessibility can be ignorant as to the needs. And so that's why I say, to people that do not have a mobility issue, it's very easy not to know that problem even exists. So that's why I think education is the real key.
I love that, and I want to go to Johnny-Schaefer on that too, because we talk about accessibility, and accessibility, disability, all of that has to be that we have to have a dialogue. Education, like you're saying, is key. I want to go to Johnny, because Johnny, you've also had to stand up and talk about, hey, being gay in the music world, that was never that easy for you in the beginning, right? And just even being gay, there was not an easy thing to be out in the world. So that is also part of education of change, right?
Correct. Yeah, Joey beautifully articulated, what I think I've even talked about a lot of the things he mentioned about being eclectic on the show, because I'm the same. I was classically trained, and I love all kinds of music, and my albums. There on the same album, there's a song with harp and cello, and then there's a techno song, and Latin beats. So I love to use all the colors is the way I like to talk about it. Like if I had a box of crayons, I like to use, all the crayons or as many crayons as I feel like using at the time. So it's, it's being, because of that, I have a lot of spirituality in my music. And so people will be drawn to some of my songs through the spirituality, and then they find out I'm gay and they reject me, even though they initially liked my music. But then I'll have a song about being gay and they reject me then because, you can't be Christian and gay or whatever. So, and it's just, I'm here to say, yes, you can. And interestingly, when I was in the corporate world, I was VP of marketing for a credit union, and we were told that our website was ADA compliant, but then we were hit with a lawsuit by a firm that was checking out websites, and they said that it wasn't sufficient for a blind person to be able to use our website. So I had to really dive into all that, and we had to go with a different company and learn, oh, wow, I didn't, I learned how to tag all the photos with keywords because we weren't doing that. And so there were a lot of, and that's the point. It's education, and people can't do what they don't know. So, the more that it's talked about and the word gets out and everybody just chooses to help each other, we can make the world more accessible for everybody.
Yeah, because
I love that.
You can't know from the other side of making a website what somebody with a disability needs. There's
that's the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing about music is it's such a powerful force to start conversations, and you can't really understand someone else's journey unless that person's willing to talk about it.
Right.
And I think that's beautiful. I mean, I love, again, that's why I think music is this amazing thing. And ideally, it always baffles me when people want to put you in some kind of box and give you a very narrow definition of who you are and what you are. I can't. Life is so magical. The world is so big, and my thing is you either come towards love or away from it. And anyone that thinks going away from love is a good idea is an idiot.
Well, I love it. It's so true. I want to go to Donnette here over in Tulare. Tulare, we've got our new magazine coming out called Quality of Life. And initially we have a show that's been going for years, Quality of Life show. It's lifestyle, health, fitness, personal development, all of that. and also mental health, something that gets ignored too. And then we have our Success Express show, but we've merged them, which is all business and career, together because we've really, through our interviews, have learned that there is no, you do not have professional success without personal happiness, personal development. It's all together. And so we're linking the two together. And part of what really got us to do this, Donnette, it's your fault. I'm just saying, when we went to Larry this past April, we did all, tourism. We went to the Sequoia National Park. We went to museums. We went to, we played at Imagine You in Visalia with, where we got to be kids. And we went on farms. Cool. We did all of this amazing stuff, ate amazing food, and we're still in trouble with that on our waistline. But, who's looking? But we really had an amazing time. But Tulare, she took us out to meet Jim Pigeon, who's a veteran and business owner, and he taught us about, the military history in Tulare County, but also we got to play at these big bombers, like the aircraft bombers, and he told us about one thing he's doing for change is he was part of starting the 22 push-up challenge, and, Rock has been in there, and he rocks. And then, of course, I'm like, when he came on a show, opened my mouth and said, I'll do the 22 push-ups a day. What the hell was I thinking, Donnette? But
I know, but you did a great
dream.
job, Lisa. Look
I'm
at
going
you.
back. I'm here to tell you I've been working on it, and I'm going back in. So I'm working on getting myself kind of back on track because I went off track way on. We've been sitting at the computer doing magazine stuff, but on the 22nd of January till the 22nd of December, I'm going to do 22 push-ups a day again because it is about 22 is the number for the average number of suicides from veterans and military veterans a day. And so this is the, awareness. The other person, we thought Salt and Light, learning about people who are homeless, and not to say the homeless, we're to say people who are homeless and the amazing work they are doing there. Incredible interview. So they will, Jim will be in there. Some Light will be in this magazine. And then we went downtown to Larry and met the Downtown Dream, where these group of guys, realtors, created an office space that's about community and not just doing business, which is amazing, bridging those gaps. And then she also took us out to L Street, where they talk about a bomber. There's a flying taco. You can sit in an old airplane and eat tacos. And we chatted with Don and his wife about how they revitalized this street in Tulare, which is kind of downtown, right, Donnette? Would you say L Street is downtown? Yeah,
and very cool. A lot of dedication on those two who are great stewards of our community with what they do.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and they just
public art. Yeah.
Oh, as a matter of fact, as you speak of that, we have a lot's happened since your visit, and we actually have a mural that just went up. They actually put it on our building yesterday. We have other Olympians from our community, and so our silver medalist, his mural went up yesterday, and we're going to actually have the official unveiling later this coming week, so pretty exciting. And the Downtown Dream has opened up its second location. We're going to be celebrating that this week as well. So a lot of things that happen when people do, on their own, they step up and invest in their community. And that's one of the things I love about Tulare is we have so many people who are willing to put their time, talent, and treasure into making their community the best that it has the opportunity to be. And one thing I want to make sure I mention too is we're chatting about things to do in the area. We have World Ag Expo coming in February, and this is the largest ag exhibition in the world, a huge farm show, and just a lot of fun. Even if you're not a farmer, you're not into farming, it's just a great show to come to learn about agriculture and the impact of ag across the world.
I love that. That fairground is huge. And I love the museum, the Ag Ventures for kids to learn about, fruits and vegetables and everything. But now, Donnette, what is your champagne? Go ahead. Joey.
I was going to ask Donnette a question. Yeah, I want to ask a question. So is there an event where a blind man can drive a tractor? Because that is what that's what I want to do. I'm ready to. And also, do you think I could climb a sequoia?
I don't know about anybody climbing a sequoia, but
no.
But I'm pretty sure that if you want to get on a tractor, we probably could find a way to make that happen for you.
Yeah.
I think there should be a blind tractor race. I think what we can do it for charity, and then we could also like take bets, like how drunk do you have to be to ride on the tractor with me?
You know what? You know what? I think we can put him in the Porterville at the drag race place that we went to, because I saw big monster trucks, tractors, and little VWs get in the mud.
Monster truck. I am down for the monster truck.
Yeah, he could do that.
And I don't care. I mean, it's not my stuff that I'm ruining, so I don't really care. I can just go. I have to tell you, you guys will laugh. You guys will laugh, but I am a great bumper car driver, and I was in Orlando. This is years ago. I was in Orlando at Pleasure Island, and I don't know if you've ever been there, but they had the Buzz Lightyear bumper cars. Mm-hmm. And what was interesting about these bumper cars is I think they were supposed to be little spaceships, and they were totally enclosed. You got inside, and this sort of plexiglass cockpit thing comes down over you, and you're totally enclosed. And the reason for that is that one person, you have to have two people in the bumper car. One person drives the bumper car, and the other person shoots a soccer ball cannon. And if you hit the other cars, you get points and stuff. And so I was the champion that night of this thing, because not that I could shoot the cannon, because that would just be exercise of futility, but nobody could hit us because you couldn't figure out, there was no logic to where I was going. And so I was just driving around, hitting people. It didn't matter, but you really couldn't aim, because it didn't, what I was doing made no sense. So I just want you to know that should you need that kind of talent, I am ready and willing to serve.
Oh, Donnette.
That is great. I will let you know. Hey, and by the way, my husband Joe is listening in, and he is saying, if he wants to come over, I'll make it work for him for an opportunity to drive a big rig. My husband's a safety manager and works the logistics. Don't tease me with a good time. Don't tease me with a good time, because I'll do it.
Hey, listen, if Joe does that, Priscilla says he needs his Harley. He wants his Harley. So Priscilla says this is the year of the Harley for Joe.
The year of the Harley. Oh my goodness.
Here it goes again.
I'm gonna get Donnette's contact info after this show, and don't be surprised when I hit you up for something, because it's coming.
I'm telling you.
Absolutely. But this is forward to it. Come on
this
over.
is the kind of thing where, you know what, if someone's blind, a lot of people go, I don't even know how to look or say or do anything. There's that communication gap, and that's the thing where it's got to be. I mean, Joey, we've done a Zoom call where we're looking at each other, but you're not really looking at us, but we're doing a Zoom call with you, and people are watching it. There's a documentary with you, and don't blink. Everyone needs to see that. It's great. It's up on your YouTube page that people can see it.
Yeah, it's on my YouTube page. It's also under videos on Joey-Stuckey.com. You can check it out there. And it's actually been in several film festivals over the past, I guess we did it, I think it came out in maybe April or May. It was done by a friend of mine, Courtney Atkinson, who used it as her master's thesis to graduate from film school. And so she's entered it in a bunch of contests, and we've gotten some recognitions.
Cool.
And stuff with these contests, and I wish I could remember the different film festivals. I can't, but it is. I think it's really good. It's about a 14-minute, snapshot, and there's really the thing is, I've lived a fairly impactful life in the sense that a lot of things have happened, both good and bad, but they all shape me into a better person, or at least that's what I strive for. And so I think that this little 15-minute documentary is a nice way to dip your toe into what I call the Stuckey-verse and get a chance to kind of get a bit of an idea of the kind of things that I do and what's important to me. So it certainly, there was a lot more story to tell, but we just couldn't do it all in more than 15 minutes, which was the time limit imposed by the school. But it really is a nice little, I think it's a nice little video, and it's a lot of fun, and there's some cool stuff in it, and I really am proud of it. I think it turned out really well. And we did it during COVID, which was a real challenge,
No, it came out really good. And that ties me back to Johnny, what ties you back to, we're all connected, right? This is what's so interesting about these shows. I don't sit there and plot who's coming on. It's like, hey, this is, pick your date, and everybody somehow is connected in some way. Johnny, your husband, Paco, is a filmmaker, and does a lot of your videos, right? He's done all the videos.
Correct.
And including the last one with Melissa Manchester.
Yeah, he's actually been making Melissa's videos for a couple of years now. Her current album is called Review, and she's like a lot of artists, she's re-recording all her hits because she doesn't own the masters, and so she's kind of taking that opportunity to reinvent a lot of the songs. And so the most recent one was Coming from the Rain. We actually shot that at Lineage Dance Studios, where we shot You Can't Hide the Light the day before. And she had this beautiful, elegant gown on. So Paco always likes to talk about himself as a storyteller. And so he's always trying something new. He's kind of self-taught. He's jumped into the After Effects world, which is a whole universe of technology. And every time we do a video, he tries to do something different. And it's all about, trying to find a story that we're telling as songwriters, and then turn that into something visual, and it's really fun to work with him on it.
That's what Nancy does. Every time she does a video, she learns a new technique. It's like, I got to do something different, do something new and different.
Yep.
Well, by the way, Melissa Manchester was awesome at the Kennedy Center Awards, opening and introducing Bette Midler and the musicians.
Yeah.
She was awesome. She did awesome, and that was such a cool perform. That whole show was fantastic. I mean,
that was a real
Midler,
thrill for her.
Jody Mitchell. I mean, look at everyone. What's his name from Saturday Night Live? I shouldn't say what's his name. That's rude.
Lord Michael.
Thank you. Yeah,
Lord
I mean,
Michael.
There was just so many amazing. But it's time for champagne and music. Donnette, are you able to sit for a song? Do you have to go? I know you had 1 hour and we're already late, but how are you doing on time?
I do have to go shortly.
Okay.
To go open my champagne, I guess. No, anyway.
Okay, no, but that's cool. You'll do your champagne toast. We'll play the music. You can listen to it, and we'll come back with Johnny and Joey and talk a little bit more music, because we got some things to catch up with them for what's going on over the last year and coming up. And but what is your champagne toast?
So you know what? I am going to follow what I've already heard. I think the champagne toast needs to be to Lisa, Nancy, and Priscilla for 25 years. You are amazing, and I've appreciated working with you for over 2 decades myself, and thank you so much for what you do to promote throughout the United States and the world, really, now, because, we can catch you everywhere, of course, but you're amazing people, and I just appreciate you so much. And I can't wait for your next music year.
Thank you. And
we can't wait either.
No, but thanks for giving us something to promote.
Well, hey,
we're
that is true, and we've got lots more to see. And one of these days, we're going to get you to come to World Ag Expo too, so that you can truly experience agriculture from around the world. And this has been a great show. By the way, I've learned a lot and enjoyed listening to everyone chatting today, Lance and Joey and Johnny, and it's been fun, and I appreciate you guys including me today.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. And listen, you totally rock to work with. Let me just say, when COVID happened, so many organizations just shut down and kind of melted. Like, I don't know what to do. And Donnette, we all melting pots, right? We all were melting a bit. But Donnette got up and rose to the occasion for her community, doing live Facebook chats, creating Tulare nights where you were all lighting up your driveways and having you managed to bring the spirit of community, which is, I think, with chambers of commerce, a lot of times it's like, that's the business people. But what we experienced, and that's why I said you changed our mind about our magazines, was our visit to Tulare, and just thinking also all the dots connected after that of you cannot have a business community and support small business unless the community is part of it. So it's everyone together that makes a community thrive. And you just rocked it out of the ballpark, watching you through the whole beginning of the pandemic and throughout, and you're still going. And getting up there with what's going on with legislature and making sure, money comes into your community. And just, you rock, girl. And thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
I wish we were there to give you a hug.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, your virtual hugs, ladies.
Yes.
All right. I know. We're giving you the elbows. But here it is. We're going to play. We should be playing Blind Men Driving, Joey. We picked the wrong song for today. But it's still, listen, this is a good song. And everyone can go to Joey-Stuckey.com, go to YouTube, listen, go get the single. But You Can't Hide the Light is actually, excuse me, not You Can, that's yours, Johnny. This is the song, You Know My Name. This is, I think, the first song how we connected with you, Joey. This was the first one?
I think you're right.
I think, I think
believe
it is.
You're right.
Yeah, so You Know My Name. Here it is. Take a listen, and we'll be right back for some more Champagne Toast, catching up with Joey and Johnny. Thanks, Donnette. everyone. That is You Know My Name by Joey-Stuckey. You can go get it. Go to joey-stuckey.com
so great.
and
awesome.
sing it, brother, sing it.
Sing it loud.
Give me a shirt for that one, literally. I mean, you get down. It's so good to hear
gospel.
it again. It's like, damn. I just say, damn it, dude. Man, I love that. And we got some horns
I think it
in there.
beautifully. Yeah, it really exemplifies what he was talking about, bringing different musical styles together, really soulful, and you hear a lot of different things in there, really great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, not being pigeonholed, and I think that's what's so great about the two of you being on the show together. It amplifies like what Nancy and I are about as Big Blend. And even though we're dividing up our magazine into different marketable little topics, which is what people want, there's still a blend in there. So when you go read a travel magazine, you're going to get food whether you like it or not. When you read a history magazine, you'll get travel. When you go to our Quality of Life magazine, there's probably going to be food in there too. So,
gotta be healthy.
Quality of Life has to do with good food, man. I just think, it's so, to use visual terms, which I do a lot actually, because it's easier. But you don't want a monochrome life. You want to have a little bit of everything. I think a well-rounded life is the key to happiness, really. And when I was a child, my dad was not in government, but he was a big part of the Carter administration. And my mom's father was a Baptist preacher, and I was a very sick child, and so we were surrounded. I was surrounded by lots of different opportunities from hospitals, which were not something that you'd want for yourself, but there were a lot of incredible people that I met, as a child that took care of me, and so you had that experience. You had a church experience. You had my dad sort of moving in the upper echelons of politics and other places like that. So whenever I was well enough, my parents took me everywhere, and they never left me at home in the care of somebody else. I mean, they always did that. So I really got to travel as a small child, travel all over the United States, all over the world, and so I mean, that eclecticism really is a natural extension of my spirit, which is the reason I don't fight it, right? If it was a contrived thing, I would say, well, maybe I should be more strategic and do this and do that and do this. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have, a mind towards what's going to help you get your message to the right people. I'm not saying that you shouldn't abandon that thought process altogether. But if it's who you are, then the only responsible thing to do is to be who you are. And the people that love your music will love you because you are genuine. And I think that's the trade-off. It probably means I'll never be able to sell out Wembley Stadium 2 nights in a row like Adele, but it also means that the people that love me, and in today's digital world, you can directly communicate with fans and ask them for help and say, hey, listen, here's my goal. If you could take 2 minutes out of your week to help me reach that goal by clicking this link or whatever, oftentimes they really will want to help you and be excited to be part of your journey. And you can communicate with them about what they want. You can ask them, hey, if I make vinyl records, will you guys buy them? Do you want vinyl, or would you prefer another T-shirt?
Before you just put the money in. Yeah.
So there's a lot of there's pros and cons, but I am my mission statement over the years has changed from time to time, but the one that sort of seems to stick with me is, and I have a song about this too, which is called One Song at a Time, and I'm sort of content to change the world, change hearts, change minds, to make the world a little bit better than I found it, one song, one person at a time, and I'm okay with that. And I don't, I'm not saying that if I had the kind of fan base that warranted a stadium tour, that's what we'd do. But that in itself is not the goal, and the goal is to connect. And if whether that's in a 100-seat bar or a 5,000-seat venue, it doesn't really matter to me.
I'm going to come see you in the bar. I want to read our mission statement. Nancy, let's go back to that day when we started this company, when we said it's going to be a partnership. She had a magazine in South Africa.
Wasn't it sex, drugs, and rock and roll? Wasn't that your mission statement?
Yeah, right. Haven't had a lot of sex lately, but anyway, that's another story. Well, we can't, it's
for a nominal fee, I can fix that.
Listen, I had a guy that was going to. No, that sounds real. No matter how that comes out, it's going to sound bad, and it wasn't supposed to be. But also, I'm going to stop it at
Tell me
Sunday. But it has to do with goat meat. But anyway, that makes it even worse. No matter how it sounds.
Dude,
it's back in our band day. This guy, he goes, he hit my car. And he comes in, and I had this concert we were doing for raising funds for music education. And,
nice.
We were playing in it. Our band that was kind of broken up and had drama were playing in it. I had Willie Kellogg, who's since passed, and one of the best drummers on the freaking planet, Willie.
Yeah. Awesome
we had,
drummer.
Musicians that toured with Johnny Paycheck and Johnny Hooker, and, it was just badass. And local musicians. And this dude, and it was my birthday, this dude hit my truck. And he comes in, he goes, I'll have sex with you to pay up for it. And I looked at him, and listen, I was in my 20s at that point, and I was not like where I am now. And I'm like, dude, you can, what? So then he felt bad, and he brought goat meat to the concert to sell to make up for hitting my truck. So anyway, that's so anyway, that was Just the weirdest thing, but that wasn't a mountain town, and anything can go in the mountains. But this brings us back to Nancy and I.
It's going to have an entirely new meaning to me. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But now I want to go to our mission statement. This is important with Nancy. No, listen. We ate goat meat in Kenya. That is a normal thing, and you better get it when it's hot.
Yeah.
No, but you can't eat goat meat. But the mission statement, Nancy and I sat, and when we started this company, it got way bigger than what we thought, and we were just doing, hey, we're going to do a magazine. We did a lot of market research with different separate one-off publications, and we had realized when we left South Africa, and that was what she created, this big magazine and all of this stuff, and then we had to leave, and she burned it because other people wanted to take it, and all this crazy stuff. We get to this country and had to start over 100%. We got to this country with $4,000 between us, lost everything doing this. Came over, and within a week had jobs, and we're back on track. And in about 2.5 years, we had, back to being normal, kind of whatever that is. And then we realized we really can't work for people because we do want to just tell them how, and that's not good. So we realized that we needed to go back to our roots, and we started doing it in Mexico when we lived in Mexico for a bit. Because that happened.
That was fun.
That's a whole other story. And so we started the magazine. We thought, we'll do the magazine between the two countries because let's bridge that gap. Well, that didn't happen. We went back to California and started the magazine. And we did market research. And everywhere I went, I said, we want to start this magazine, have travel. It's a variety magazine for, North San Diego. And we were told, you don't need new magazines out here. We have so many. You don't need this. So we looked at each other and went, if that's people's attitudes, that's the first thing we're doing. So we sat down and wrote it down, and we knew this could go in so many ways. Are we boxing ourselves into one region? And, of course, we did, and now we're bigger and national and global. And thank you, Digital World, for doing that, and Blog Talk.
Yes.
Being on the radio, being able to do this on this platform really is what changed it. So this was the original mission statement and stays the same to this day. Big Blend is a company based on the belief that education is the most formidable weapon that can be waged against fear, ignorance, and prejudice. It is our belief that education starts at home and branches outwards. Education leads to travel, and travel leads to understanding, acceptance, and the appreciation of cultures and customs different to our own and ultimately to world peace. Our company is further based on the principle that networking, communication, and helping others to promote and market themselves leads to financial stability, thus paving the way to better education, travel, and the spirit of giving back to the community. It's a long one, but it's actually happened. So it's pretty darn cool. So,
beautiful.
it's a long one.
You need to write a book about how you started everything.
Nancy would have to start that.
There's a book brewing. And it's going to be, there's a book. Yeah, now because there's a lot of things in between the lines. A lot.
Sure.
Especially traveling. We've had,
I think there should be a
during
song
COVID.
called In Between the Lines.
We're gonna do a show. Rest Area Radio, where we're going to do live broadcasts outside. And this is going to be our underground cult radio show that's got nothing to do with Big Blend, and I just blew it by saying this. But we're going to do shows about the real things that happen on the road and what it's really like. And it's going to be Rest Area Radio. And so it's going to be a pop-up show whenever we can get a signal. And then we'll just call everybody when we get to the rest area. If they can call in, they can. If not, and we'll tell them what happened. So that's what we're going to do.
The first rest area has to be where we found Rest Area Rambo.
Yeah, Rest Area Rambo. Yeah, there is a Rest Area Rambo. He lives in Orlando. And
he's a security guard who takes it really seriously.
We've watched everything in Rest Area.
If you want a true adventure, you just need to go to any gas station in Missouri, because I've been on the road through there a couple of times, and every time it's been terrifying. So that's all I'm going to say.
We had some interest. Listen, I didn't do well in
that gas station where that lady pulled in, and then her boyfriend tried to hit her car, and the cops came. And
Huntsville,
we were like,
Huntsville, Alabama.
What
it was
is
a
going
day
on?
after
We're
Thanksgiving.
like ducking.
Yeah, the guy. I had to call the 911. The girl comes driving through. It's like 5, 6 in the morning. We were driving from Florida to Madison, Wisconsin, and we're getting gas. And it's like a little tiny thing in like a mall complex. And we're getting gas, and it's frigging starting to get cold, but not like when we got to Madison. Holy cow! Yeah. I mean, no. Cold. Anyway, I'm starting to get. I hadn't even really started. And this girl drives in with a lady, which I thought was a kid, because she was sucking a lollipop, and they're in an emergency.
But she had
go figure.
One of those do-rap thingies on her head.
And so I thought she was a baby, and she wasn't. But the girl goes, "Call 911, call 911. This is not a joke." And I'm like, "What do you mean call 911? What for?" And she said, "Call." So I called 911. I said, "This girl says call 911, and I don't know why." And next thing I know, a car. She's like in the gas pump next to me, right on the. I'm on the right, she's on the left, and there's a tank of gas in between us. And I say that because it's important.
Tank.
Next thing you know, a guy in a black car comes up behind her, and they start chasing each other. And this is a tiny gas station. You can't go, you can't. And then he's gone. She's there, and I look, and her car's already been smashed in, and we think it's through him. And the one girl, they want to go pay for gas, and they're going to do it cash. And I'm like, dude, have you not heard of credit cards? Like, put it in and go. No. In they go. And while the girl finally goes in there, and I've got them on, the 911 on, and they can track me, the guy, you hear this bang, and we're like, holy crap, guns.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking gunfire, gas, and we don't really have a way out.
Combo. Yeah.
So then he comes back around. The girl freaks out. She comes back, and the other girl's still in there. And the guy sneaks up on her and goes right to her window and starts laughing at her. We're like,
so
holy
weird.
Cow, we're down.
No, that was
Next
weird.
thing you know,
and he was higher than a kite, I have to say.
The cops come, and we show him. Then he starts to bail. They got him not even within 30 seconds, surrounded by 3 cops. They didn't do anything bad to him. Some say this is, there's a lot of bad cop stuff going on, but this was a good cop situation. And then she comes circling back. I'm like, look, they got him. He's there. You're fine. And she's all, oh, yeah, okay. I said, look, we'll stay here, and, because she's freaked out, and, kind of keep you coming in until the cops come to talk to you, because I'm like, there's something weird. She comes in between the tanks and tries to get in the back seat of the car. Lifts. I have everything covered, so no one sees computers and gear. Tries to get in. Nancy turns around, and, Nancy knows how to tell someone exactly where to go and how to do it. Really. And the girl's like, oh, she literally shriveled and melted away. And then the next thing the cops came and did. And then we were sitting in, after that we drove off and had wine in a park at 8 a.m. on the Trail of Tears, the Cherokee Trail of Tears, having wine in a park. We were all freaked out. And then we're in Illinois. We called Steve Schneikert, our Hollywood historian. He gets our calls and texts where we are. He keeps up with us. And we're like, dude, this shit went down. And he's like, no way. And I found them on Facebook because there are cops.
Both got arrested.
Cops tell what's going on in your neighborhood. Local newspapers, online, and also on Facebook. They have local things. And I found them both, and they both got arrested. And that guy was arrested for the 4th time: robbery, assault, drugs, all of it. So
I think they were.
One of our
I think they were working. I really thought they were working as a team. Like she was like the person to get your attention, and then he drives up later and robs you. That's what my mind went. We lived in Africa, so you don't even try. I got eyes on the back of my head, down my arms, down my back.
We also got robbed at gunpoint in New Orleans with a gun at my head. And anyway, that's a whole other time. But, anyhow, you have these things that happen, and you're just like, wow.
Series.
It's crazy. It is a crazy thing.
It is crazy.
But I just want to say now with this Quality of Life magazine we're talking about, where our new tagline is Viva Variety. There used to be a Comedy Central show called Viva Variety, and it was like a circusy thing with humans, and it was really just quirky, weird stuff. And, Joey, we've talked about our weird humors. And so we were like, Viva Variety. Variety is the spice that puts quality to life. And so the both of you with your music and being eclectic, and that really is it. If you do the same thing over and over, God, no. Drive to work a different way. Do something different. It's so exciting. It's fearful. We have to have that little dose of fear and then conquer that little dose of fear to get into a bigger dose of fear and conquer it. Because the fear is self-created, unless it's a real scary situation. Real fear,
no, I think
COVID.
That's very true. Yeah, and Johnny, I don't know about you, but I find the best way, if I ever have writer's block or I never quite have that, but if I ever feel stagnant, the first thing I do is find someone I like and say, let's collaborate. And that takes you to new vistas. And it's a little scary, but it's a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, I've done some collaborating and definitely want to do more. A lot of my song ideas come to me at 3:00 in the morning, 3 or 3:30 in the morning. And I wake up. I'm not a person who has any trouble sleeping. So I'll wake up at that time and I've got the song idea and I get up and I sneak in the other room so I don't wake Paco up. And then I, make sure I get it down and then I come back and then go right back to sleep. But I've collaborated with a few people, and of course, when I was, I told on the last show I was on, I talked about how I used to send Melissa Manchester songs on cassette tape when I was a kid, hoping she would record one. And so when she finally sang a duet with me, it was pretty amazing. And, she talked about creating, she always talks about creating the universe that the song lives in. And when she touches the song, well, where does this song live? And you don't censor that. You let my producer I frequently work with, Stefan Oberhoff, worked with Quincy Jones, co-produced with him, and he said that Quincy said, let the song tell you what it wants. And so, and I think when you've got more people in the mix, because even when you're after you've written the song and you're in the studio producing it, then other people bring stuff to the song that, might take it in a different direction, or, so writing with someone really you're bringing two worlds together, and each person has their own take on it, and then, it becomes often a stronger song because of the different perspectives that are blended. We talk about blending, so.
See, he said blend. Yay.
The best wine is blended. Well, no, but that's the truth. I think you have to have open minds and put the ego at the door, and that's a really hard thing at times.
Well, and the thing is, you have to. If you love the craft, if the craft means more to you than anything else, which I feel intuitively that Johnny feels the same way I do, which is that the craft is the whole thing. It's all about the craft, and it's because the amazing connection we can forge between humans with music is just the most powerful thing in the world. And my parents, kind of getting back to them because they are such incredible folks, they felt like that, especially because I was a sick child and my time was sort of limited for a long, long time. And so they thought like whenever I felt well, I should travel because that was the best education I could get. And that's really true. So if you have an open heart and an open mind, the best way to do that is to be educated and to experience new things. So that's why I talk about blending and collaboration in that regard too, because if you do everything from a place of love and exploration, then maybe the journey doesn't turn out the way you envisioned at the start, but you almost always get something of value. And
you'll get babies in some form.
You always
love and exploration. I'm just saying, some kind of baby's going to pop out.
No, but
Lisa has conveniently moved us into porn, which I appreciate. And as a blind man, that's one of the few things I don't watch because the moans are just subpar. So I get nothing. I'll say I get as much out of porn as I get from tennis. All I get from tennis is the clicking the ball and the occasional
the ball that like badoon.
Hey, but we did have a swinging chair at the beginning of the show that sounded really interesting to me. Are we in a hotel room?
That did sound kind of. I really did think that was a bit kinky, so I was that's exactly what I thought too.
I was like, are we in a hotel room with one of those paper thin walls?
I don't know what that was.
I honestly thought it was Nancy, but
I don't know. But we were talking about sausage, and then we have the swinging, and then Steve,
you bring out the inner. Yeah, you bring out everybody's inner porn star. So there you go.
Yeah, but it's fun. Listen, Sausage Day. So when we ran a bed and breakfast, Lion and the Rose Bed and Breakfast in Asheville for 3 nights. They dared us to do it, and remember we talked about that, Joey, about it's faulty towers to the max, and it really was hysterical. And so they have Sausage Day. Whenever they do sausage for the guests, they sing Sausage Day, and the dogs downstairs and the cats know they're getting pork leftovers, which they love. Yes. And so the day Sausage Day comes, and Steve, the innkeeper, sends a text message to me where he's singing Sausage Day, and then on our show the other day on Wednesday, they crashed our show, party crashed to sing Sausage Day and talk about sausage, and then Steve, like Hollywood History, he was on that show, just sent me a Facebook thing saying somebody had posted. Take a song title and replace one word with sausage. And I started reading that, and this was right before the show, and I'm like, I can't even be serious. How are we going to do a Champagne Sunday show when I've been looking at, like, Meatloaf singing, you took my sausage right out of my mouth? I'm just saying, that kind of thing,
I saw something similar on Twitter where they said, take a movie quote and replace one of the lines with sausage, and they actually said it was very specific. This is take a Star Wars movie quote. So I can't remember but I had I know what it was. I did two of them. I did the sausage is strong with this one, and then I also did I thought the sausage smelled bad from the outside, which is from Empire Strikes Back. So
oh my God. Okay. So Johnny, what would you do? What do a song name?
Oh my gosh!
With the word sausage replacing one of the words, and Nancy, you got to do it too.
Oh my gosh!
It's Champagne Sunday.
You know what? I was reconnecting, so I just got back in. So let me think about it for a second.
Okay, Nancy, you give a song
because I want to come up with a good one.
I've got one. John Denver. Oh no, that's any song.
No, what? Take Me Home, Country Sausage.
What about disco sausage?
Oh no, I got one. I got one. No, I got it. Jailhouse Sausage. Oh.
That is absolutely brilliant. That is absolutely. You are my favorite person in the whole world because that was brilliant.
That is. No. I was just going to do pour some sausage on me.
I have another one. I have another one. Hell bent for sausage.
Oh my God!
Man.
Magic sausage ride. Uh-oh.
Yes.
Oh no.
There's Melissa has a song. Melissa's got Midnight Blues, so Midnight Sausage.
There you go.
Midnight sausage. Sausage does.
Or to take this could have a bad connotation, but my song that we're going to be playing, You Can't Hide the Sausage.
Okay, wait, I have another one.
I literally almost this champagne just went out my nose, dude. Seriously.
No, Lisa, Satan gave me a taco by Beck. What? Satan gave me a sausage.
Yeah. But you know what they say about Satan, right? Satan has all the best songs, so he probably has all the best sausage as well.
Well, the devil did go down to Georgia, and here we are.
Yeah.
You know what? I still listen to that song, and I'm like, dude, that violin playing is still insane.
Yeah, Charlie Daniels, I knew him peripherally. I mean, I've met him several times, and he's fantastic and such a smart person. The first time I got to interview him in my 20s when I did a radio show here in town, and I got on his tour bus, and we just talked about, all things music. And he has a tie to Macon, Georgia, because he did a lot of things with some of the Macon, Georgia artists back in the day, people like Marshall Tucker, and because Macon was really the synergy for Southern rock. And so Charlie Daniels was certainly part of the Southern rock scene. So he had a lot of ties here and played here a lot. And then about a year before he passed away, I was on the road. I was in Indiana. He happened to be playing in Indiana, and I said, "Boy, I sure would love to. I'd love to, talk to him again and see him again." And so I emailed his publicist and said, "Hey, I don't know if Charlie will remember me, but I'm the music ambassador for Macon, Georgia, and I met him, a couple times over the years here in Macon. And here's a picture of us together on his bus, just to prove that I'm telling you the truth. And I'd love to say hello to him, again." And it worked. They let me backstage, and I got to go back, and he signed a couple autographs, took some pictures, and said he remembered me. And I don't know whether he did or not, but it doesn't really matter. He said he did, and I gave him the official Joey-Stuckey-Kazoo because Macon claims to be the birthplace of the kazoo. Now, I say claims. I'm not refuting that it's true because I don't know. But I say claims because there are several other towns that claim it as well. Anyway, but I travel all over the world, talking about making music, and I do that, just when I'm out and about. I just kind of carry these kazoos with me. And, Gene Simmons from Kiss has one. I gave him one. And, but anyway, Charlie actually brought it out on stage that night and passed it around the band to see if how many of them wanted to try to do a kazoo solo. And,
oh my God!
So it was a lot of fun. But he is absolutely fantastic. He was still performing in his 80s, and really still sounded great. I mean, sounded fantastic. Even at that advanced age. I mean, he still gave a great show. Played a mean fiddle or violin, whichever one you prefer, and he really was just a fantastic performer. Very humble guy, very gracious. So super nice guy.
So many musicians are making incredible.
Go ahead.
Oh, go sorry.
Go ahead.
So many musicians are making incredible music in their 70s and 80s still. I mean, it's the age thing is,
Well, Johnny, you're probably like me. I want to die on stage. I mean, I want to sit and just drop dead when I'm. I don't ever want to.
Remember the beginning of COVID? One guy did just die on stage. One of the musicians. Gosh, I can't remember his name, but he was playing and he just went right over. It was at the very beginning of the pandemic.
If you have to go, you might as well go doing what you love.
Yeah. So then put me in a swamp with gators while I'm filming them. That's all right with me. And then at least I know my body's getting recycled. It's made into food and then food.
I think you would
alligator
poop.
poop.
I think, Lisa, when I think of you, I think of gator snack. That's exactly what I...
And I would stand there and sing Stairway to Sausage.
Oh, my God.
This is late, but how about the first time ever I saw your sausage?
Oh, okay.
I love it.
Okay. How about?
Well done.
No. How about Elton John? Elton John's Tiny Sausage.
Oh, the type. Oh no.
I have to say, Nancy is the queen. She is the queen.
She's naughty. She's very naughty. She's very naughty.
Sausage queen.
Yep. Yep.
You are.
Well,
dancing
and then
queen
sometimes if you are working in the porn industry, you're going to have to charge a ticket to sausage. All right, we got to do champagne toast, guys. We got to do champagne toast.
Okay.
And so let's start with you, Joey. What are you toasting to?
I'm actually going to toast to my parents because
that's awesome.
For several reasons. Not that you and Nancy don't deserve all the accolades and toasts you can get, because you guys are certainly remarkable. But my parents have been married for 64 years this past December, which I think is quite an accomplishment. And and also I also want to everything that I've achieved in my life really couldn't have been done without their dedication, without their love, and without them making me feel valuable and making me feel like I was, worth knowing and that I had something to offer. So they did a lot keeping me healthy and happy and focused on positivity as a very sick child. So I can never toast them enough. So to my mom and dad, they are incredible.
I second that.
I toasted them. That's awesome.
Yes.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So what about you, Johnny? What are you toasting to?
Well, since you're a mother-daughter team, I would toast to mothers and daughters and parents. And I recently talked about how we were caregivers for my mom up in Olympia, Washington when she passed last year. And then we just got my stepmom through a rough patch up in Porterville. She had some health setbacks, but she's doing a lot better. And
cool.
And they took care of us when we were kids, and now to be able to return the favor is pretty great. So I think just the inherent support and love that comes with that relationship. So to parents and children.
Thank you.
Cheers to that. Thank you both. We toast to all of you, everyone.
Yes.
I mean, really, everyone that has been, on this show, and even the crazy, wild things. We've had people call in and say some things that it's like, that's it, we're butt panning you. So it's like, you got to just kind of, bless that stuff. But Nancy, what is your toast?
I just toast to peace and happiness, and people just get over it. Let's just be happy. I think we stand in our own way a lot. So I'm just hoping people will take a chill pill, look for the good, not the bad.
Absolutely.
Speaking of peace, I toast to Michael Lang. We've lost some greats over the last week. Over the beginning of Betty White, Sidney Poitier, and but I'm toasting to Michael Lang because he created Woodstock. And this was one concert that hasn't really been able to be duplicated in that magnitude for peace. Every time they did Woodstock afterwards, it went crazy. Look at Altamont. And, so he went in there with a vision of peace, and it being small, it went huge. And, these were people that were peace seekers, and the music that came out of Woodstock, I mean, you just can't even. It's amazing. I mean, come on,
it's iconic.
Jimi Hendrix playing, the Star Spangled Banner. Come on, it was pretty badass. What happened at
Star Spangled?
Did I say it wrong? Oh, you can't say that, Nancy.
I just did. Oopsie.
So I just want to just toast to him as he flies on, because he left a mark that can we all aspire to do that, and music does it.
Yeah.
On an individual basis, on a daily basis. And when you look back at something, he obviously had that spark of peace, and may we all aspire to that. So thank you both for joining us. Thank you, everybody on the show. Donnette Silva Carter, Lance Labor, the Tucson dudes on his swinger with his hawk going over and getting a dove. I mean, that's some crazy stuff. Talk about a champagne brunch, right?
Yeah.
The first thing I thought was like the hawk knew it's brunch time. I'm coming down. Here it is. But we're gonna close. We're gonna close with your song, Johnny, with you and Melissa. And I think this is the perfect closing to today's show. You can't hide the light, and it's kicking butt on YouTube, right? From what I heard or saw on Facebook, you're doing really good with this.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of airplay, particularly in Europe for some reason. But a friend of mine works in the Louvre, and he messaged me that he heard it playing in the Louvre, and that was pretty cool for me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And Mona Lisa is freaking smiling, man. She is.
She's rocking out.
So everyone, again, keep up with Johnny. Go to hearjohnny.com. That's JOHNNY. Just because there's a lot of ways to spell Johnny. So hearjohnny.com and keep up with Joey. JOEY Stuckey.com, like Stuckey's Candies. There's billboards for the Stuckies out here, and they are related. So Joey-Stuckey.com is the website to keep up with Joey. Wish you all the best in this year, and one day we'll all meet. But as this pandemic does its weird stuff, we're just going to have to play with dogs and cats as we travel in alligators, where we can. But I think our journey now as we're going west will be in your mom's country up in Washington State, and we're going to go meet some cows in Texas, I think. So
cool.
The bubbles will be back.
Cool.
Just going back. All right, here it is. You can't hide this light. Thank you all for joining us. Keep up with us at BigBlendRadio.com. Love you all.
Take care.
Thank you.
About barbed wire is that you can see right through it. The thing about you is that you're transparent too. The thing about us is that we put up defenses, but still all of this light just keeps bursting right through. You can't hide the light. Sometimes the race, sometimes the burning. You can't hide the light. Like the sun and moon. You can't hide the light. 24/7 January through December. Sometimes I think that you forget. Don't worry, I remember.
Sing about white light that you can see right through them. Sing about your eyes, they show the real you. Sing about us, is that the gap is connection now. The sun of this light just keeps bursting right through. You can't hide the light,
but I'm sure that you already hide me. Dark and love, you can't hide the light. It starts to shine when you decide to do it. It's just like turning on a light and darkness goes away. I thought I was lost in the darkness. I couldn't make anything out. I remember that first healing flicker, like finding a stream in the midst of long now I drink in all your lies. Drink in all your lies. You can't hide the light. To shine when you decide to show it. It's just like turning on a light and darkness goes away. Another thing about barbed wire, you said you can fit right through it. Another thing about you is that you cut to the chase. Another thing about us is that we've learned how to let go. Now I got the basket on this light from your head. Anticipation, your light is unaffected by the fog and clouds and rain. Unlike the moon, your light is fueled by self-illumination. You might disguise it, but it never fully goes away. Sometimes I think that you forget. Don't worry, I remember.